She's good. Hey everybody, welcome to She's Good, a podcast about women's sports, you know, everything about it. We're learning. We're the three of us are learning about it. So we don't know everything, but we feel that we are good messengers to the world who may not know everything about women's sports, because we don't, but we do know some, and we do love it. Anyway, that's us. My name is Julia.
I'm Mary Beth.
I'm Katie.
Katie's thinking about leaving the pod.
She's just started thinking that right now.
Just now, yeah. She goes, I don't know about that decision.
I'm like, oh God, I got other plans. Sorry, guys.
If you ever left the pod, I swear to you,
Julia and I would just
going.
be like babbling.
We would keep going.
Well, we would say bye, but we would keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
This would turn into me and Mary Beth just like looking things up. No, Mary Beth, you know things. I always like throw you under the bus.
That's
like
because
this,
I like Googled it just before we started.
Oh man. Speaking of Googling things just before we started, guys, we let's jump right into it, because there's been a lot of actually sports happening.
Yeah.
You do say this every time.
Believe it
But
or not.
I really want to get to this one thing that I do know about, and that's the National Women's Hockey League, NWHL bubble that just went so wrong.
Oop, it popped.
They had a few games on Twitch that like were really popular and people were digging it. I think we talked about last time that shit hit the fan though, and
Well, I don't think that we knew it yet. I think it was like the next day, the next
was
week,
it?
right?
I need to like not communicate with you guys at all in between pods so that I know what we've talked about.
It does get confusing because we do just like chat about this stuff for 2 weeks and then we have no idea.
We're just honestly in constant communication about like what is going on in sports.
No, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We're the Holly Rose of our
of the three of us.
The three of us specifically.
Three of us are Holly Rose.
Are the Holly Rose
to each other. I love Holly Rowe.
Same here.
Literally, whenever I'm watching like a basketball game or whatever, and Holly Rowe pops up, I take a photo of the TV and send it to you guys. Look who it is.
Oh, and please continue. Wait, what were we just talking about that she was like on or something, or like there was a picture of her with people or something? I don't know. No, it was like something on Instagram. Well, okay, but it's fine.
That could have just been it, that there was a picture of her with some people on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds on brand for us to talk about. It seems
correct.
Yeah.
Everybody just go on Instagram and follow Holly Rowe, and then
you'll see the picture probably.
She is a reporter for, you know, well, the WNBA is how we know her, but she is it ESPN
she does college football
proper?
a lot.
Does she? Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
She does college football. Yeah, she's done college basketball.
Wasn't she gonna be at the Super Bowl, but then got COVID? No, maybe it was the college championship.
The Rose Bowl or something. Yeah,
it was whatever the championship bowl game was. She was supposed to be at that. And got the vid.
Damn.
And she's better
many
now.
Have.
Yeah.
She's doing well.
I guess this is our message.
Speaking of this bubble,
stay safe. Yeah. Because the NWHL
I want
bubble.
to know.
Yeah. So it basically what we do know is that everything got canceled because there were just way too many positive cases. And
is
like
that
the semifinal and the finals?
Yeah, I know they said they like canceled it, and a couple of teams had left already, right? And they just said because of COVID reasons, but never specified if they had COVID or like.
Yeah, I mean it might depend. I think there probably was not a team that wasn't affected, but like one of the main issues is there were like certain teams that it just like. They had more cases than number of people that could play, so they couldn't play, and just like the rules weren't enforced, so it was spreading like wildfire.
I'm laughing because I'm picturing, because isn't there like 5 people on the ice at a time? So I'm picturing Literally. They didn't have like 5 people. Yeah. Which I know isn't what they mean, because you have to have people to be able to go in and out. But
exactly.
In my mind, I'm like, they couldn't get 5 people.
Yeah. Well, it seems like each team had different like procedures or protocols of like how long a player had to isolate before joining the bubble. And then at the end, like the league was like, well, we were calling it a bubble, but it wasn't really a bubble. It was more like a like restricted access zone or something.
Yeah.
So like people were coming
if you said your name, you could go in, or
right.
It seemed like just like a hotel where they gave you tests.
Exactly.
Right.
No, totally.
Yeah. But it was.
Yeah, the NWHL itself didn't enforce any quarantine before. They just tested before people left and tested when they got to the bubble. So there wasn't that like 2-week period to see if, anything was like living in anybody undetected. So they were basically just going by test. And then also they started playing games before anybody was retested. And then, people's like significant others, family members could come into the bubble. It was just like nothing was enforced.
Foolish.
And also
it just seems weird.
Go ahead.
No,
it just seems weird to me that they would see the like success of like the WNBA bubble, the NWSL bubble, and not think we need to replicate that, or we need to like have those same standards. Because at the end, they had a really successful season up to that point, and the games that were finally going to be on TV are not on TV, and people aren't exposed to the league because of that.
So it just seems like they're shot at growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the league is just proving itself to be like a bunch of idiots, and
right, which I think was the initial complaint about them, right? Is like they just weren't like, there was no organization. It wasn't sustainable the way it was being led. But maybe they'll have learned a lesson or two from this.
Exactly. Well, let's hope. And to be clear, we're talking about the like administration, not necessarily the players. Right. Although there was some BS that went around just about like, oh god, with like Barstool Sports and stuff. Yeah. Look, I don't know if we want to get into that. I don't think
I don't even like
remember. I don't think so.
What
just
the issue
because
was. I think it was just like sloppy.
It was just
and I just feel like I don't have a good enough like grasp on everything, and I don't want to like speak to it. But there was just some like
some BS. Okay, but one last thing I wanted to talk about, which I did not really realize. I at one point I go, oh, hockey's probably like a like one of the best sports you could play, because they've got like face masks. You gotta like play with face masks. First of all, I don't know that everybody does.
Yeah.
Second of all, COVID lives in like cold environments longer than in hot environments. So it was literally saying in this article, like, it was one of the worst sports you could play.
It's easier, right? Like if someone were to cough, it would be easier to like shoot across, because it's not as there's not as much water in the air. It's drier.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and just
I think that is
temperatures, it lives longer.
Yeah, I think that's just proven just by like looking at the number of men's hockey players that have tested positive too, because they're not doing any sort of bubble or anything, and that's just like a free for all of shit too.
And they don't wear any sort of face shield. The men's don't. Does the NWHL have a shield that comes down?
No, I'll look it up. I don't know.
I know that specifically the NHL does not, because that's why they always get hit in the mouth
and lose teeth and stuff.
I just Googled women's hockey, face shield or no?
What's the answer?
It should be a one-word answer, and if Google doesn't provide it, I don't
It's either
care.
face shield or no.
Oh, why is it that female players only wear the full face mask, ... Okay.
Because they don't want to hurt their faces.
Why do the women have to wear cages? I feel like I'm not getting really...
I think that what we're hearing is it's a cage and not like anything that would stop the spread of COVID because there's holes in it.
Okay, word.
Is what I think I'm understanding.
Oh, now I'm seeing pictures of like men with no teeth. Okay, I feel like I'm real close to mode.
It's not even hockey players.
Good call. It's just men.
Men with
just
no
random
teeth.
men.
Sick. All right. Well, my best wishes to all the players, and
I hope they
get what they deserve at some point.
I did see the offshoot league, remind me the order of the letters. PWHPA.
Okay.
Is that right?
Something like that.
They partnered, I think they've partnered already with one of the New York NHL teams, and then also with Toronto. I think it's Toronto. It could be been Vancouver. I think it was Toronto, where they're going to do like games hosted by those NHL teams.
Okay.
Also, so like they're kind of building also. Go ahead.
I know originally they didn't want to like glom on to the NHL for whatever reason, but this sounds like it's a little bit different.
It's like in partnership with the specific teams, maybe. Okay. I don't know. I think it's just a way for them to be able to play in a game that's like advertised and host and like billed by those teams so that people in those markets will.
And aren't they going to play in Madison Square Garden as one of the games?
If it's the Rangers, then probably. I don't remember what New York team it was. Yeah. Well,
it was the Rangers. Yeah. So that's a lot of seats.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'll try and go.
Go to it.
Maybe we'll come visit you and go.
Yeah. Okay, I got that vaccine, so.
Oh, true. Okay.
I don't.
Well, come anyway.
I will never go to a sports event.
I'll shield
without
you.
a vaccine. Yeah, just cover my mouth, and yeah.
And then I'll get the variant, and it won't work, and everything goes to shit.
No, it might work though.
We'll see. Who's to say? I still wear my mask. I still double mask in like grocery stores because I get nervy.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line here. You're seeing that like even in password restricted areas, people are getting it. So
yeah. So interesting. Man, I am bummed that I did not get to watch one of the women's hockey games before it got canceled.
Yeah, that's a bummer. But
I watched like little bits, but not a full game.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can never see where the puck was anyways. Exactly. Since it's not a light up puck, so.
Until those guys get their shit together and start highlighting the puck on TV, there's no use
to get like street hockey pucks, or like those like my dog has toys where when you throw it, it lights up and you can like.
Exactly, yeah.
They need it where like when you hit it, you can go, you can see it for like 10 seconds.
Oh. But there are some good sports that we have been able to watch because they're being hosted by another country that has basically eradicated coronavirus.
We have been. We are into the Australian Open. Although they did just go into lockdown, but they can still play the games, but they can't have fans. So they had fans for the first couple of days, and then whatever state of Australia that Melbourne. Is it Melbourne or do they say Melbourne? They say it differently.
Melbourne.
Well,
it's in Melbourne.
They're on lockdown for 5 days. So I think through Wednesday they can't have any fans. But
so here's my question for that. What does that mean when they did have fans?
There weren't a lot. It wasn't packed. They were just like scattered about in this big arena.
But there's positive cases. What's happening
in Australia? But I think still not nearly as rampant as like what's happening here. But they had just like had something it shut
like
down
4
pretty well.
or 40 cases. Like
it's just like more than they can contact trace efficiently. So they went on lockdown for 5 days, which seems so simple. If we could only do such a thing here,
literally imagine.
If we had only done it in April, and then. Would have been a lot easier, but so they're still playing though, and it's been exciting.
I feel like there's been an arc here. Can anyone walk us through, Mary Beth, the story of the U.S. Open, starting from
Australian Open?
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry, I know it's not the U.S. That just rolled off my tongue. Starting from moving beds, you know what I mean?
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think we had mentioned that before, that there was the charter planes that they had coming from like, I don't know, a few different countries with a bunch of players and staff had positive COVID cases. So all of the players, I think it was something like 72 players, but then like between them and their staff, like hundreds of people had to quarantine in their hotels for 2 weeks because, again, Australia is very strict about such things.
It was only like, it was a lot of players, but
it was a lot of
everybody.
players. No, so it was whoever came over in those specific planes. Because the reason they had to quarantine was because there were positive cases on that plane.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like from where they were coming.
We know from like Sammy Whitcomb going back home to Australia to like see her baby be born. We know that Australia, if you get to the country, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks anyway. Yeah. So I don't think it was like should have been totally unexpected for those players.
Yeah. I do wonder if there was like the workaround was a charter plane. Yeah, and because
I think
there was a positive case, they had to. But I think any commercial flight, you've got to quarantine in a hotel, and you also have to pay for it. I've learned. At your own expense. So be prepared if you leave the country or are going to the country that you have to pay for that.
I am going next month.
But basically these 72 players, these 72 players were not allowed outside of their hotel rooms and could not practice.
So they couldn't like train. Imagine like you have this big tournament coming up and you have to like sit in a room by yourself. So they were, like moving the furniture around and like doing little workouts and stuff inside their rooms. And then.
But speaking of, though, just for the record, I feel like everybody in the world should be prepared to make these types of sacrifices. If you're going to play a tournament in a pandemic, then sorry if you have to practice against your hotel wall.
Right. And hopefully an extra sorry to the person in the room next to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's another tennis player. So eventually they got through that. Everyone else got there, I think, unscathed. And we're now in the fourth round. Let's see. What do I know? Venus Williams got knocked out in the second round, not because she lost, but because she hurt her ankle and had to drop out. I think Coco Gauff got knocked out in the second round also. So did the defending champion from last year, Sofia Kenin.
Yes.
She's an American player. She lost in the second round, I think.
So Kenin is out. Venus is out. Coco Gauff is out.
We have
Iga Swiatek. She's out. Go ahead. She won the U.S. Open, didn't she? Iga.
Yeah. Is it Swiatek? Is that her?
Yeah.
She's Naomi won this year's U.S. Open, didn't she?
But what did Iga win? The French Open?
I know her name, so she must have won something.
She won something.
Opens. Close.
There's a lot of opens. My apologies to Naomi.
She got knocked out.
Definitely did.
Naomi.
Right now, Jen Brady, who just won something this year, is still in. She's still in the round of 4. Who were you just saying, Katie?
Bianca, Andreescu or something. She's Canadian. She got knocked out.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, but for those viewing on YouTube, seeing Julia's background, Serena and Naomi still in.
Still in it to win it, baby.
Naomi Osaka.
Look how they're shaking hands, everybody.
Oh, elbow bump.
Oh.
Yeah, they haven't played each other as of yet, which is why they're still both in. But yeah, Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka both won their 4th rounds yesterday. And it's been fun to watch.
Very competitive.
Yeah. They've been very competitive. So I think where I started tuning in was maybe the 3rd round. Naomi Osaka played Ons Jabeur. Remember Ons Jabeur? I like her. She's the one that I sent an article, and it's so fun. The article was so funny to me because they kept interviewing Naomi Osaka. She's like, yeah, I'm so shy, and Ons Jabeur just won't stop talking to me, or she won't stop saying weird things to me. She just comes up and is weird, but they're good friends now. But
in a good way, funny,
it's funny to me that this other player, she's from Tunisia or something, just comes up to Naomi Osaka and is weird, and now they're friends. I feel like that's how I make all of my friends. So
of note, though, truly of note, Ons Jabeur came up to her and was like, oh, "Can you sign me for your new soccer team?"
Yeah, she wants her. She's like, play soccer.
She legit wants to, and I think that this is us debuting the story of Naomi Osaka is now a part owner of the North Carolina Courage NWSL team, which is huge and
she's
very
been
cool.
representing that throughout. Like
she debuted their new jerseys.
Yes. Yeah. So that is
very exciting.
I kind of now want that story to grow where Ons Jabeur does get signed, which I do suspect that she could. I don't know how good she is. I saw something once of her like volleying a tennis ball with her foot, and like very well. So I do believe her that she's good at soccer, and I now want to see her.
I mean, that's a professional league. Let's not like.
No, it's not gonna happen. I would watch her. I'd watch her do a YouTube clip. You know what I mean? Like,
that's just
this
like
goes viral on YouTube.
In my dream world, I would love to find out though that she's very good at soccer, and watch her like go to an open tryout and get a spot. I know it will never happen, but
Michael
in my
Jordan
written story in my brain,
write the movie and I will produce it.
Okay. It'll be like popsicle stick people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's going to be stop motion popsicle stick people. But
oh man,
here's $500.
Voiceover by us.
Yeah.
Their mouths never move because we can't figure out how to do it.
That's our very special bonus episode.
Producer Katie McGraw.
She bought us not even clean craft store popsicle sticks, but popsicles, and we ate them.
Oh yeah, they're like purple.
So they all have like stains and riddles.
And there's jokes
on them, yeah. We have to blur it out because there's branding on it.
It says popsicle.
Yeah, the jokes are like trademarked. So.
I look forward to it.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so Naomi Osaka beat her though.
And to be clear, that's because Ons Jabeur kept asking about this.
She was like pestering her, yeah.
Stop it.
Naomi went down a set and had to fight her way back.
That was a close match. Yeah. She was down, and I think that was the one. I don't remember if that was the one where she was down. I think that's the one where it was just close, and then she beat her, and then it was close again, and then she beat her. I do believe that's the butterfly match.
The butterfly one?
Yeah, very cute moment where a little butterfly landed on her leg, and then she rescued it, but it wouldn't fly away. Like she kept like putting it, and then it like,
on her face.
Landed on her face, and like I feel like everyone but her was like, oh, and then her face was like, get off of me, bug.
and you know, I bet she knows like when if you accidentally touch a butterfly's wing, it like kills them. Yeah. So she's probably like,
she was she did like have it by the legs.
She didn't touch its wings correctly. Yeah.
It eventually flew away.
Wait, I know I probably knew that, but they die.
Like the oils in your skin, like
they can't
affect
fly.
Their wings, and they can't fly anymore.
Yeah, but this butterfly.
You know, there's some sick fuck listening to this podcast, getting ready to go touch some butterfly wings, and to that person, I say, how dare you?
Yeah,
don't touch the wings,
and don't talk to us. Don't you dare. They're going into the butterfly conservatory at the Detroit Zoo. Oh.
But yeah. So when she played Ons Jabeur, those matches or those sets started close, and then she pulled away. So I think she won both of the first two. They didn't have to go into three, but she pulled away in both of them. And then yesterday, the round of four.
Yesterday being Saturday the 13th, we were recording this on the 14th. Yeah. But that's okay. I mean, you'll be listening to this at the earliest tomorrow, which is the 15th. So hope you guys had a good Valentine's Day. Anyway, so yesterday
she played a Spanish player. They never told me what her first name was, and I did not look it up. So I apologize to everybody, but her last name was Muguruza, I think was how you say it. She was great. That was a tough match, and she almost beat Naomi Osaka. I was rooting for her. I will say I do love Naomi Osaka, but I was having a great time watching Muguruza also. There was some frustration, but yeah, I think Naomi Osaka took the first set. I have it written in my notes. Hold on, let me see. She maybe took the first set, and then Muguruza took the second, or vice versa. I'm not sure. And then the third set, I know it was 4-2 with Naomi Osaka down, and she fought back to win, which is insane.
Crazy. Yeah.
Because she was pretty behind. But yeah, that was really fun to watch. Muguruza had this shot that they kept saying was like her specialty, where they would rally back and forth until eventually Naomi Osaka was all the way on the other side. And then if she'd hit it in just the right spot, she'd get it down the sideline and like hit the line, just like inside the line or on the line every time. So like it was
like there's no way you can get there and serve
it was impossible to get
back.
And she kept doing that a lot. It was great.
Yeah, I like kind of saw it unfold on Twitter a little bit because apparently I didn't have access to whatever ESPN channel it was on.
It wasn't on ESPN. It was on like
Okay, then why was it on the ESPN app?
Maybe it was on the app. It wasn't on the channels. I was watching it on the tennis channel, which is a channel I didn't know existed until this summer. Again, it's only exists on Parents
Maybe
Cable.
That's why
someone
needs
to email Tennis HQ.
Tennis HQ. Let's
tennis.
Get it on.
What the hell?
Nobody except for people that live with their parents have Tennis Channel. It was like 550 or something. It's so ridiculous.
But I was like seeing it unfold on Twitter, and people like were saying like, oh, Naomi just decided that she didn't want to lose. And like you could tell that she was like
mad.
not she was like, this isn't gonna happen. And like
and just turned it back on, and it was wild. You could like feel the tension. It was very like I did love it.
Did one of you guys said that she
and Serena
threw a racket?
She did throw a racket down at one point. Yeah. She picked it up. She didn't throw it at anyone, so she didn't get in trouble.
She did pick it up. She did not start playing with her hands.
She just started throwing them back.
And continue to play the sport of tennis, actually.
She did continue, and she did end up winning the game because she did pick up the racket.
And thank God. She could have tripped over it. Anything could have happened there.
She didn't throw it far. She just like threw it down, and then no one was in danger.
Yeah, Serena played as well.
Serena's been playing, and she's been like on fire as far as like defense and athleticism. I feel in general, the way she's been able to. So she played, I think, in the third round. Potapova, Anastasia Potapova, I think is her name. I think she's Russian. She played her first.
That reminds me of. Never mind.
I want to know.
Sorry. Do you remember Paulina Porizkova from America's Next Top Model? Who was a judge?
Maybe it was her.
LOL.
It was probably her.
Sorry. Anyway,
that one was really back and forth though too, and so Serena did not start off that strongly in that game, so it was a little nervy at first, but she defensively was playing very well. That's the one with that first wild rally that I yelled in my basement
that went on for 3 minutes.
At 10 p.m.
I think I counted there were 26. I don't remember the number.
And it was just not even like that. I have no idea. Not even though that there were a lot back and forth, but that they were each time in a completely opposite part of the court.
Yeah.
And that she was still getting to them. So, and there was some really wild lobs up until the last one where she hit it. And then, so Potapova hit it right along the baseline so that it bounced and Serena couldn't get to it. And she had previously been up against the net, and she had to run all the way off to the back wall where the little green children stand. That I'm obsessed with them. Do you know who I'm talking about? And they do like the arm movements. I love them.
The ball getters, yeah.
And they wear a little hat with like a flap on the back to keep the sun off their neck. It's really just these specific Australian children I love. But yeah, so she ran and she hit it like backhand over, like 2 hands over her head. And it went up so high, and you could tell like she didn't think it was good. Like it looked like she launched it out of the arena. She was laughing during it. Like they cut to her and she was laughing. You could tell the TV crew didn't think it was in play because they cut to her. Well, the only one that knew it was still in play was Potapova, who's on just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Because then they still had time to cut back to her and wait a couple of seconds before it came down, and she hit it overhand into the net, and so Serena won the point from that.
That was pretty
everyone
cool.
go look for that. It's wild.
We'll post it on our social media. You can follow us at She's Good Pod on Instagram, at She's Good Podcast on Twitter.
So look for those. We'll post those, and then because there's another one too. She ended up winning that match against Potapova. I'm trying to see if I have what the scores were. I don't know if I do. No, I did make note that her husband was wearing a shirt that said Unstoppable Queen, and I was obsessed with it. She later had it posted like him on her Instagram, and she's like, that's my shirt. You're wearing my shirt.
Wait, Serena or who?
Serena, her husband, Alexis Ohanian.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He was wearing.
He was also wearing. He was sporting an Angel City face mask too.
Yeah, because they're
good.
Olympia,
they're a good
owners.
couple of people.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hopefully a clash between Naomi and Serena, NWSL owners.
Oh my god,
that'll be in the semifinals if so, because Serena also won the round of 4 against who did she play yesterday? Sabalenka, who was insane.
Sabalenka, she was
they call
great.
her like the warrior princess or the warrior queen or anything, and she deserves that. Yeah, she deserves that title, Unstoppable Queen.
That's title.
Yeah, she had me. Sabalenka had me like. I think I texted you guys and I was like, wait, I like her. Like, I know she's playing Serena, but I like her.
Yeah, that's how I was with Muguruza. But yeah, Sabalenka was real good, and we learned that that Serena Williams is her idol. So she did start off a little nervy, and that could have been why. But she had her down for a minute, didn't she?
She took a set, didn't she? The second set?
Yeah, it was close. I don't remember exactly. This was late into the night.
You could relate.
Yeah. Wait, what? I
was born in 2014. Katie, you can relate.
Who can relate? Yeah. Where's Belarus?
She is really good. Probably by Russia.
Eastern Europe.
Okay. The Rus is what makes me think that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
It's pretty Russia. Belarus.
Yeah, she's from Belarus. I know it was close. She took a set and then Serena was down, and then Serena came back and won.
And apologies to Serena, but I did go to sleep before she won.
You did. I kept you posted.
You did, and I woke up to the news that she won, and I was like, "Oh, said, yay. Great!"
Huzzah.
And then I woke up to the news that you woke up to the news.
And somebody said "yeehaw" at some point. I think it was
yeehaw, and it really gave me the giggles.
And that was to the in response to everyone being available to record at 5 p.m.
Yes, yeehaw.
That's true.
Here we are.
Yeehaw, baby. Yeehaw.
Yeah. She beat her though. I'm sorry, that was a late game, so I don't remember the details as well, but I know it was a comeback, and she again was very good defensively, Serena Williams, and there was another wild rally that was maybe even harder athletically to keep up. That ended in a similar way where it was a high lob and then Sabalenka hit it into the net.
I would just like to say fuck you to the haters who doubt Serena.
Yeah. Which
I'm saying a lot of fuck yous, so apologies.
I am rooting for Serena. She's trying to tie Margaret Court for most majors won at 24, which will finally would settle or at least quiet down the internet trolls that are like, she's not the GOAT because Margaret Court has won more majors.
But isn't Margaret Court like also racist?
I don't know. She's
or transphobic
dead
or
for
something.
certain. I don't know if she's dead. That's a lie. She is old.
She's dead for
She is
certain.
old.
She's
She
Australian, though.
She played in like the
I'll
Billie
look it up.
Jean King days. Who Billie Jean King is not dead, so I shouldn't assume that Margaret Court is. But
I'm gonna
I
Google
have
and see if
seen
she's
black and
racist,
white
'cause I read
videos of her
something.
playing.
She's alive.
Sorry, Margaret. Hope you continue to live.
Well, wait to see if she's racist before you apologize.
I'll apologize for jinxing her life. Yeah, so she's 124. Serena's 123.
Oh yeah, she's racist and homophobic.
Martina
That
Navratilova is
awkward for
straight from
a
the
sport.
mouth of Navratilova.
Well, that makes me want Serena to knock her out even more.
Oh, that would be great. I want it to be Serena and
like,
Osaka in the finals, and
they
go
can't. Semifinals they got to do. They're in the same path.
That's annoying.
Sorry.
That's so annoying.
I'm sorry. I'll
Thank
write.
you for explaining it to me, though. Thank you for explaining it to me.
Tennis HQ will make sure this never happens again.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm shooting off an
Once
email to Tennis HQ.
Once I email Tennis HQ at Netscape.
at AOL.edu slash
Netscape.
hyperlink.
Yeah. They will clear this up. They will only ever meet in the finals from now on.
Netscape sounds like something that Sabalenka wishes she could have done.
Nice. It made sense when you think about that one specific rally.
Yeah, for sure. for sure.
But yeah, so I want Serena to win so she can tie that record, and then I want her to continue to play, which she's clear that she will do, and beat it so that she holds the record by herself. Also of note, as we like to discuss outfits, is she's wearing her outfit she's been wearing the past several games is inspired by FloJo. Did you know? You know, like that one-legged, like that's what, and she even said,
basically, yeah.
So she even said, because whoever interviewed her, she's like the world record still holding track star from several decades ago.
Florence Joyner, isn't that her?
Yeah.
FloJo.
So she has like a very famous track outfit.
That's like one-legged.
Yeah, it's got like one leg, and then like that's what. Yeah, they
obsessed.
Basic. I know because whoever interviewed her also used to be a tennis player. I don't know who it was. An Australian tennis player interviewed Serena and asked her specifically about that, and then about Olympia, playing tennis, and then something else completely unrelated. And Serena was like, I love these questions. Please continue.
Because she's famously tired of the boring questions.
Yeah. So she was asking like specifically, I can't remember what the third question was, but it was completely unrelated, and it was great.
We'll post this FloJo inspired pic on our social media. You can follow us.
Yeah.
She's Good Pod. Yeah, She's Good Podcast.
So that's where we're at. The quarterfinals are tomorrow, maybe.
Okay. So if you watch this in the morning, you could watch. I mean, if you listen to this podcast,
so I think they're the 15th. If that's helpful to humans to hear.
Yeah.
But since it's in Australia, they're usually at night, which is very helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
They're usually like 7 or 9 estimated time. Cool. That's my.
Thank you for catching us up. This painted such a picture.
I'm glad.
Wait. Okay. So who is on the other side of the semifinals? Who would be? Who do we think it will be in the finals?
Who are they playing? Oh, I don't know the other half of the bracket. I've only been paying attention to like this. I don't know if we know yet, because I think they haven't played their round of 4 yet. Oh. I know Jen Brady's on the other side. She's American. There might be another American, and I can't remember who it is. Is there someone named Rogers? Last name Rogers? It might be
Maggie
her.
Rogers.
Yes, it's her. She's got a career in tennis. She's
You never know.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
The football player.
Yeah,
he's
ever
in
heard
the
of
Women's
him?
Tennis Association.
He plays women's tennis.
I hear he's engaged to Shailene Woodley.
What?
Yeah.
I did hear that.
Like he recently confirmed they were dating, and then the next day, like slipped in that he has a fiance. So one would assume that it's her.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A little gossip for the pod today.
Podcast on the pod, baby.
I'll take it. I love podcasts.
I am very much enjoying tennis, and I, for some reason, understand it so well, which is so weird because it's such a confusing point system, and like
I'm just really glad you do, because I never know what the hell is going on. I'm always texting you, what does break point mean? What does blah blah, like why did she just hit the net and get to serve again? What is fault? Like
right.
It's
like
confusing.
Which that's a fault.
Yeah, if you serve and yeah. If
you only get 2.
You only get 2. Right? If you hit the net, well, if you hit the net and it's good, then you still have to serve again. But like I feel like it's like a freebie, because it's like it's called like a let, maybe. I don't know. I've never seen it happen, so I haven't had to really look it up. I've just read about it in passing. But yeah, I don't know what it is about tennis, but I'm riveted by it. Which is so surprising to me.
I think part of it is like, it is very like relaxing, like not, maybe that's not the right word, but
it
like
is though.
The back and forth of it is soothing.
Yeah. And also
I felt that way watching volleyball yesterday.
Yeah.
Like there's something. Yeah.
I think also
nice that, go ahead.
Oh, you first, please.
No, you go.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay. No, I'll go first. I was just gonna say, I think also, as we all know, I have focus issues, and when there's a lot of things happening at once, it's hard for me to like pay attention to it. So like specifically, like if you look at soccer, there's 22 people on the field at once, and it's like there's a lot to take in, where tennis, it's 2 people in this one spot, and you just can like focus on
the ball.
Yeah.
That's almost exactly what I was gonna say. And like the camera doesn't have to pan in a 120-yard field.
It's easier to just like focus on what's happening for me specifically. I'm not saying that everyone has those issues. But that's also like, even though like basketball, the WNBA, I've been saying this too, is like there's a lot going on for me to take in all in a clump. Where this is just a little bit less to look at, I think, is why I enjoy. I need a little bit of and I don't even think tennis is slow paced. It's just I need something that's slower to look at, if that makes sense.
Well, I think even just with less players out there, you have less things that you have to watch and focus on.
Got to get my little brain a chance to keep up.
My little tiny brain.
My little brain, which I know is in there because the doctor told me when I was in 3rd grade and I ran full speed into a metal pole.
Wait. Your doctor told you that you had a little brain?
No, he just said, if anyone ever says you don't have a brain, you tell them I saw it in the x-ray.
Oh.
I was like, thank you.
That's really funny, honestly.
Especially to like tell a 9-year-old.
I love that flannel.
It stuck with me. Yeah. You cold? Are you chilly?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very cold.
I like it. You look like Luke Danes now.
Let's not go there. Don't get me started.
Gilmore Girls P2.
But okay, so we don't talk about Gilmore Girls. I do want to talk about the WNBA because
Katie, so much going on.
There's been quite a shakeup. Can you take us through it, please?
It's just been a very emotional couple of weeks. Players are moving. I'm happy for them because they should be able to control their own destiny. At the same time, I want them to do what I want them to do.
Exactly.
So
you don't want them to mess with your favorite teams that you're now invested in. Like now the teams are going to look different. Is that,
But,
I get that.
But fortunately with the WNBA, like I do honestly feel like there's something to love about every team. So I will watch as many games of as many teams as I possibly can.
And this will give us new reasons to love. But I also answer this question in the thing of like, there's a lot of movement. Why? And is this normal? Okay, go.
So last year, the WNBA Players Association negotiated a new collective bargaining agreement that gives players more agency and more power. CBA. A CBA, baby.
The CBA.
That gives them more control and power to your
vocabulary.
Yeah. Take that acronym and put it in your pipe and smoke it. Not CBD. Sorry, God, I hate myself. So basically this is the first free agency period and unrestricted free agency trading period under that new collective bargaining agreement. So there's just been a lot of movement.
Is it more movement than there was before? Do you know? I don't know if
from
you
what I
watched
understand,
them
yes.
before, so I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. From what I understand, that is the truth. So I think we talked about last time a lot of the free agency moves, like Alicia Clark moving to the Washington Mystics.
Did we know yet?
Example.
I think we thought maybe they would be moving, and I think there were rumors of Candace Parker and Chelsea Gray, right?
Yeah, because the title of the episode was she's Candace Parker, let her play.
Who's to say?
So Candace Parker moved to the Chicago Sky. Totally. Chelsea Gray, where did she move?
Las Vegas.
From LA to Las Vegas.
So Las Williams, I think.
So yeah, there's just been a lot of movement. But then in the last week or so, the restricted free agency period kind of opened up. So trades were happening. The trade period opened up. So Natasha Howard and Sammy Whitcomb were traded from Seattle to the New York Liberty. Amanda Zahui B left New York Liberty. Now she's going to play for the LA Sparks. Katie Lou Samuelson moved from Dallas to the Storm. A lot of player rights getting traded and draft picks getting traded in the midst of all this. And there's a lot more movement too. But it's just going to be really interesting.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the Liberty.
Me too. I was sad to see
and Natasha Howard.
I was sad to see Amanda Zahui B leave with those changes coming in, and then Kia Nurse moved to Phoenix from the Liberty too. So but I'm super pumped for the Liberty.
Yeah, and probably I would assume that Sabrina Ionescu will be back. I assume she's healed.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
I mean, I would hope
because they were like,
it was a ankle sprain.
Yeah, I'm sure she's fine now.
Yeah,
I hope she's fine. It's
the most common injury on earth.
I'm sure she's fine. I say as my ankle still pops and cracks when I move from spraining it in 2009.
But she's got the most elite care.
Yes, she's okay.
I have to remember that.
I feel confidently that she's probably okay.
But I do feel like that's one of the biggest moves because Natasha Howard and was one of Seattle Storm's she's 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. She's a pretty good shooter and she's a big player. And so I think she'll be great for
I read something that said she expressed that she wants to win an MVP.
Oh, cool.
She wants to be MVP. So she thinks moving to the Liberty will I think it's a good move for her. I think the Storm has a lot of really good players, and Jewel Lloyd and Stewie and Sue Bird can often overshadow other players.
Yeah.
So but it'll be interesting.
And then Alicia Clark moved to DC, you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
That was announced a couple week or so ago.
Yeah. I think that I'm excited for the Liberty moves the most, I think, because I was always rooting for them so much.
Yeah.
As the underdog team, and I just wanted them to be doing better, and I hope that this helps them. For a healthy team plus these additions.
Well, and I think what they really needed was some veteran experience.
Yeah, because they were a young team.
Totally.
Yeah, so hopefully that really helps them. Yeah, I mean, it's a league with like what 144 possible like players maximum. So it's really competitive. So it's just spreading out good players and all over the different teams. So I think it'll be a really competitive year.
When does that season start?
I know they play in the summer. I just don't know exactly when they start.
Do you think they're going to have to do a bubble again?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like. I wonder what it would look like if like all athletes are like vaccinated or something.
Right. Which I do like maybe we talked about this before. Maybe I was talking about it with like my brother-in-law, but I
think we did talk about it.
Where like I'd be fine with them being vaccinated as like being considered like essential workers before.
Yeah.
Not before like actual essential workers, but like before, like put them in a group before everyone else. Because like that is like that I feel like the entertainment business, I like even with some actors and some shows and stuff, like that's been what's getting people through. It's like watching this stuff when they're at home and like being able to watch new stuff. So like I mean that's just my personal opinion. I know that
someone who's been vaccinated. That's your opinion.
Someone that's been vaccinated. No, but like so I know there are people out there that are like, oh, they're the elite and like they don't need it and like, but I think that like it really is helpful to like morale for the country.
Well,
to have
I think
these things up and running.
Right. I think we've also proven that can still happen and they don't need to be vaccinated, where I think like, you know,
if they're
poor
careful,
people I mean they just have to be incredibly careful, but they have the resources to do that.
They do. They absolutely do.
Whereas like I don't know, at this point I'm just like I know a couple weeks, maybe it was like a couple weeks ago that we talked about this and I was like, yeah, I don't care, like let them be vaccinated. And now a couple weeks later I'm like, I need my fucking vaccination. Like
Katie, I'm okay with you going in the group with the athletes.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I just like
so.
There's like something with like morale and making it feel a little bit more normal that I think is helpful to the people's mental health.
Yeah,
I think. And
I've said this before that sports got me through Corona so far. So. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right that they can do bubbles if they try to properly do bubbles. So that's also valid. I guess it's just finding a balance. You do make a huge point
that when people have the resources to maintain safety and like the protocol that allows them to do that, then I mean that should be taken into account for like who's given priority.
Right.
Priority.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It's just like I don't know.
At this point, I know people who are immune compromised and who still haven't gotten it.
Yeah. And
it's definitely a conversation for later down the road.
It's like where to. I don't think like they need to be getting it right this second, but like in the order of things.
Yeah, I mean, why is it so hard to just make more vaccines?
I don't.
There were like 220 million more. No, maybe like 20 million more. But obtained or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's not even why is it so hard to make them as why is it so hard to figure out how to give them to people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the trouble.
Yeah. True.
And why is it so hard to like present them in a way that people will also actually get them instead of making it a political nightmare that there are.
Sure.
I was reading something from my work the other day, an email that was like 57% of this so-and-so has been vaccinated, but like we've had the opportunity for months in that workplace to get vaccinated. So that means that 57%, that means 43% have chosen not to have been vaccinated. With some, it's like health stuff and I get it, but like that's 40%. In the healthcare industry, that many people are like, I'm not getting it. So, and like counting out the people that can't get it for whatever reasons is really wild to me that they've chosen
as a society.
They've chosen not to get the vaccine.
My dad was telling me how he works at a hospital and so he got the vaccine, but there's like a younger woman who works at the hospital and she was like, didn't want to get it because she like heard that it could affect fertility or something. And then she came back in a couple days later and she got it because she lives with her parents, and her dad was like, if you don't get it, you're moving, like you're not staying in my home.
You work in a hospital and you live with me, you have to get it.
Yeah. Which I just thought was funny.
Which is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors out there. I am here to tell everybody that I did experience side effects, and I would 100% experience them again rather than have COVID. And also, while I had those side effects, I was contagious to nobody. So, like, just that alone, like, it's absolutely worth it. I'm fine now. I've not mutated. There's no government person following me around. Yeah, at least probably from my cell phone, but not a chip in my body.
Nothing new.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's always been like, I'm going to do whatever I can to, make sure no one gets sick because of me and that I don't get sick. But I feel like it's like the people who don't wear masks and the people who don't want to get the vaccine is just a circle. It's the same people. Like, so it's just,
Unhelpful.
And who want everything to be back to normal. It's like,
they're all the same.
Yeah, exactly. They're always like, businesses are dying. Yeah. It's like, people are dying, you fucks.
It's because you won't stop like spreading it. Yeah. Everyone else is at their house.
Whoever made this about freedom.
Leave my home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mess.
Like I said, we're fucked as a society.
Huh.
I mean, doomed. I was really just trying to like ease up on the F word.
Don't.
I think we're like, I feel like today we've said it enough times that it's just a free for all. We can try again next time.
Dang. All right.
I did
got that little explicitity
instead of we got that E, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think I've sworn yet. I'm saving mine.
Us and Eminem.
And Taylor Swift now.
And Taylor Swift. Oh. Speaking of, I do feel like that flannel room is giving me like Evermore vibes. Or is it Folklore?
Oh,
I can't remember.
I'm gonna listen to Evermore.
It's giving me Costco vibes because that's where it was purchased.
Your outfit. I did see there was a little. Alex Morgan was doing a press conference recently, and there was a real dust up on Twitter because one of the reporters asked her about her thoughts on the newer Taylor Swift albums, and she was like so excited to answer them. And I watched the press conference, and she talked about Taylor Swift 3 separate times. And then used it as an excuse to leave. Love it. Yeah. And then used it as an excuse to leave the press conference to go listen to Taylor Swift.
She did?
Yeah. But then
I'm obsessed. I have to watch that.
Well, then there were some people on Twitter that were like, why are you asking women athletes like these kinds of questions? But like,
no, fuck you.
They also asked her about sports. It wasn't just that. Like, let her also get like the same thing with asking Serena Williams about like her FloJo inspired, like, because that's clear that outfit is inspired by FloJo. So like ask about why, and like asking about her daughter, like ask them human things as well as about their sport. And that's lovely.
And also like, I did see like conversations going around on Twitter, like the person who asked the question is like a very respected, like, soccer journalist and has been doing the work and doing it unpaid for in the past, and she's just been around,
right, and it's also entirely possible
it was like
somebody trying to damn pick a fight. Right. It's like her integrity, like questioning her like integrity as a reporter, and it's like, no,
she's fine.
They're human beings. Yeah, and I think it's also a relevant question.
Yeah, it's also entirely possible that somebody, because a lot of times they all come with like the same question and start asking them in like tiny different ways, and they have to give the same answer. It's entirely possible someone already asked her question.
So how is it having to play Serena? Are you nervous? It's like,
yeah,
bitch. Yes, but
now
also
I am.
Stop asking.
Well, I think it's like and also they're more than just like
robots.
The sport they play. Yeah.
People like to know what's outside. Yeah,
Yeah. So I am as long as they like it's a good balance of sport questions and like this other fun stuff, like that's great. That's a great interview to have.
Yeah. And I also think it was relevant because the reporter was asking her about like the news that Taylor Swift had re-recorded some of her masters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's relevant in like the US women's national team has us like is fighting for equal pay, is fighting for like control over their own narrative in a way,
which is
in the same way that Taylor has been like fighting to own her own material and like to have control over her work.
Right. So
right. I think it was really very relevant. And Taylor Swift invited the 2015 FIFA World Cup championship team on stage with her at one of her concerts. So it's all in the same universe.
Yeah. And also,
yeah, exactly. 13.
Yeah. Yes. Alex Morgan had a good response to that tweet and that Twitter scuffle in that she's like, I'm happy. Really? She said something about, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was like something I'll talk about like a strong, like boss woman any day. Like, I'm happy to talk about that. Which brings it back to what you're saying is like, it's relevant. There's parallels there.
Yeah. I think like there are things to be upset and outraged about. And I just feel like that is not one of them. And sometimes people are searching for things to be mad about.
Absolutely.
For no reason. So,
yes.
I don't know.
You're totally right.
I liked it. So as long as I liked it, it's fine.
If I didn't like it, bad.
I felt I was talking to Laura about these press conferences too, because you can tell that the players hate doing them. And we were laughing about one that Sam Mewis did maybe like a couple months ago, where at the very end she just threw up 2 peace signs and like ran off. Like the question, she very, very, very much was like just the last word was exiting her mouth, and then she was just like, "Well," and like was gone.
That's great. It kind of reminds me of like the Storm press conference after they won the WNBA championship, where like Sue Bird was talking and then Brianna Stewart came in and was like, "This needs to end. We gotta go party." Like,
yeah, especially when they asked them like after like their first, I think it must have been after that game in November, which was like their first game they played together in like a year. And like now you have to go do a press conference right after winning when like your team is probably all together in the locker room.
You're
like,
missing the crucial
you don't be there.
Moments.
Yeah. So I'm sure that was what's going on, but it made me laugh that she was just like, bye.
Bye. Yeah, I feel like that's very something I would do. A little piece of news. This was within the last couple weeks. Alicia Clarendon, she plays for the New York Liberty, announced that they had top surgery.
Wow.
So that was really exciting. They're non-binary. They use she, they, and he pronouns.
Yes.
Because I just had a little moment where I said she, and I was like, oh wait, and then I was like, oh, they're all they use all pronouns. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, so that's super exciting.
I think also something very encouraging about that, because I did see when that happened, was all of the support that poured out for the top surgery and for, I feel like they were out before as non-binary, right? Yeah. And it was just announcing the top surgery, but like nothing but support from teammates and from the WNBA as a whole. Like I think the organization put out a statement,
the league,
like
the commissioner,
we support this 100%. And I think that was all very excellent.
And I just keep coming back to it, like in my mind over the last couple of weeks, thinking about like what a brave thing it was to talk about, but also like just thinking about like they actually saved people's lives doing that. I know that for a fact. There are little kids who saw that, who read about that, who heard about that, who are struggling, confused, trans and non-binary kids who saw that and thought like that resonated with them and helped them. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool. Makes me emotional thinking about that. But yeah, just very cool and really supportive of them for doing that and talking about it.
Also, they just had a baby, right? Well,
yeah.
Jessica Clarendon, is that?
Yeah, their wife. Yeah, that's their wife. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Big news of 2021.
Yeah, I think it's super important too because there are all these bills being introduced at the state level, just like really transphobic bills seeking to exclude trans kids from participating in sports. Mm-hmm. And I think like all of us would agree that like playing sports has had such like a really positive impact on our life. Like for me personally, like there are things that I learned from playing sports that I've never learned, like I would have never learned had I not played them. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think like it's just not fair to try to exclude children from having that opportunity and having those experiences because they're trans or non-binary.
Right.
I just think we need to get up. I mean, it's undeniable that sports provide like a type of community that like, you know, yeah, it really is different than anything else. I think you can get things different. It's not worth getting into. But I think it's time that we all get on board with the fact that bodies are different. There's not one category here and one category here. I feel like the sooner we start understanding that and realizing that, and it's been that way for ever, the sooner I think these like inhumane conversations surrounding trans people and bodies, they'll stop happening.
Right. Yeah. And also when you start doing that too, you get into like a real like weird spot because you start getting into people that like and how their bodies work and what chemicals they produce. Like if you look at so Michael Phelps, like if you look at that, his body doesn't perform the same way that most athletes, like he produces half of the amount of lactic acid, which is what makes muscles tired. Yeah. So like if you start regulating the hormones that people produce, how does that stop you from like regulating, like now he has to take medication. So his lactic acid is the same. And that's all in like a certain range. Like where does it stop when it shouldn't have even started in the first place? Like my take is like, great. They are born in a body that makes them more of an athlete. Like they're just a better athlete than other people. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fucking sports. Not that sports aren't important, but it's like, this is, what are we doing? Who cares this much? Are you, did you lose that spot to Michael Phelps? Were you
did you get cut and that's why you're so mad? Yeah. Like who?
Well, part of the conversation around this that's really frustrating for me is that these groups that are like seeking to exclude trans people, they're framing it in a way that is like about protecting women, which I think is really vile and
because women
backwards and disgusting. But also like trans women are women.
Yeah.
You're not protecting women if you're not protecting trans women.
I agree. And I think that like they're just born like, in if they do better athletically, that means they're just more athletic than other women. Mm-hmm. Who cares?
Right. And also like
there are other women that are more people. Athletic. Yeah.
There are already trans people out there playing sports.
Yes.
And
exactly.
Like you have like they're like bringing in this conversation of like, well, like professional professional sports, like then men will just like become women to like play sports.
Nobody's gonna
gonna do
that.
Do you know what it takes to become an elite athlete? Like
right. And
it's
also
just so stupid.
Yeah, it also is like a very sexist argument that just assumes that all men are better athletes than women. Like you're not just gonna find like my old neighbor isn't just going to be able to go join the WNBA because he's a man. Like I don't.
Some random kid gets cut from the freshman basketball team and then decides,
I'm going to be a woman. I'm going to. He still has to be better than all of these elite athletes. Exactly. Like they're so good. So it's not like, I don't know. I also was reading. So there's a transgender woman. I can't think of her name right now. I'm sorry. She plays for a soccer team in Argentina. And I was reading an article about it. And the article was just talking about like how she, like there was argument about if she could play or not. And she finally it was just like a feel good story about how she got to play her first game and very casually mentioned that her team lost 7-1. So like it clearly like doesn't make a difference to have a trans person on the team.
The New York Liberty are the losingest team in like history, except for like one team long ago. It was like 0.091% winning. Not that one person can change.
Right. But that's the point. Is like they're not going to change. Like they're not going to change the outcome of the team. We're not going to like have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also just like, I don't want to like, I want to stop having these conversations that try to limit like what it means to be a woman.
Right.
Because I just feel like we're like coming around like this circle and like we're getting put back into these boxes, and I want to reject those boxes, like, and like the idea of like a binary that we all have to like subscribe to. I don't know. I just want to say at the end of the day that I know a lot of people out there are like, well, I'm a woman and I think I'm a cis woman and I welcome trans people to play the sport that aligns with their gender, and fuck you if you
also,
don't.
Yeah.
Same.
And just like casually same.
Yeah, I agree. And also, you guys know that caster, I think Semenya is how you say her last name. She can't play sports anymore because she can if she takes medications to regulate her hormones, and she won't do it. So she like is an Olympic athlete that now they won't. And she isn't even like, she's not trans. She has identified as female her entire life. She like, so they're saying you, a woman who had like always, like everybody has always identified you as a woman. You've always identified you as a woman. Now can't participate in women's sports because you produce more testosterone than other women, and unless you alter your body. That's like
exactly like the perfect like example of how bullshit this entire conversation
unless you
is.
alter
like,
your body, you now cannot be an athlete, even though you are one of the best athletes. You're a medaling athlete in the Olympics.
Yeah.
You're
and if you use that logic and that like argument that like if you have a certain like level of testosterone, you can't play in women's sports, then why are we also having this conversation about trans women who like don't have testosterone, who have like that just shows the flawed logic
it's just
of the entire conversation.
It's people that are just like afraid of change. And I guarantee nobody is out there arguing like, well, trans men can't play. Like, I mean, there may be people, but like, they're not arguing because they don't feel threatened that like,
because they're framing it as like a protecting women thing, which it always has. Very often anti-trans legislation and stuff like that is framed as like men in women's spaces. Well, trans women are women, so they're not men in women's spaces. Like,
and even like, I don't know. I
mean, clearly, like, I'm not like an expert on any of this, but I'm just like a dumb person who thinks that
it's fine.
Trans women are
We're
women,
all fine
trans
with
men are men. Like,
please come play a sport with me. I've been looking for someone to play a sport with. Anyone is welcome.
Our team is open. But seriously, it just needs to be said over and over because these other idiots are speaking up. It does need to be said. Trans women are women, and that it's not a man playing a woman's sport. Okay, let's stop having these old white politicians make all these decisions. It makes no sense.
You get so frustrated. Man.
Yeah.
Anyone is welcome on Franklin United. Is that the name of our
Franklin United FC? Yeah.
Everyone is welcome on Franklin United.
All you need is
unless you're like a transphobic asshole, and then
you're right.
Bye.
Margaret Court, not welcome. Everyone else.
Bye. Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing the peace
All right,
signs
bye.
for
That's
people
how we should
listening.
end
I'm pulling a Sam
the
Mewes.
podcast each time. We all just like finish our sentence and go, okay, peace.
Gotta go.
And just leave, walk away.
Yeah, and then it goes on, like the podcast is actually like 15 hours long because no one ever presses end.
That's fine.
Oh, one thing I did want to mention just before we like begin to wrap up is that She Believes tournament
Yeah.
is happening.
Tournament is coming.
The She Believes tournament's coming up. The first games are on the 18th, this Thursday.
Sick.
US plays Canada at 7 p.m. on FS1. But if you want to catch the earlier game, Brazil versus Argentina, that's also on FS1.
They're also on like major channels, right?
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
Fox Sports 1, yeah. So there's a game on Thursday the 18th. There's a game, the couple games on Sunday the 21st of February. And then the last games are on the 24th. And they're all around my birthday. So I see this as like a gift from the soccer gods to me, a fan. So please watch.
And we are going to virtual tailgate them. So if you want to
maybe we'll like make it
game,
open to the
do
public.
It. We'll have our secret watch party.
But we'll tell everyone. And it's not sponsored by Secret.
Drink before the games. I might on Thursday. I'm not sure because they don't have hydration breaks, so I lose my pee time.
Yeah.
So I'll have to be careful. But yeah, everyone watch She Believes Cup. I think it'll be.
And we'll post about when they are on our podcast.
Yes.
I mean on our social media page.
Social media. And it's super cool because the games that are not US, the US isn't playing, they're still airing them on TV. So we'll get to see really good teams go against each other. Like if you want to see Marta and Debinha, you'll watch all the Brazil games. If you want to see,
like the Canadian team is much of the NWSL.
Yeah.
So it's not like
I don't know much about Argentina, I'm super pumped to watch them because I know it's growing. The game's growing a lot there for women. So
cool.
Yeah. Watch a little soccer this upcoming week.
Watch a little soccer, why don't you? It'll be good for the soul. Yeah. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Also, something I wanted to mention, not soccer related, but before we close situation is I watched the X Games, as I said I was going to in the last one.
Yes.
And it was many weeks ago, so I won't try to go into details because I don't remember them.
There's one story that sticks out.
That is burned into my mind forever. First of all, I loved it. I have always been a fan of winter sports, and I usually only catch them like on the Winter Olympics. I don't usually watch like specifically like skiing and snowboarding. I don't seek that out, but the X Games are super fun. And I just love the vibe that everybody has where it just feels like recess. There was an event called the Knuckle Huck, I think. And it was snowboarding. I don't know if they did it with skiing. But I watched specifically the snowboarding one, and it was mostly it was like a men's event, but also they let Jamie Anderson participated too. Like she just jumped in. Who she like, if you don't know who she is, I gather she has like the same vet, like I've heard of her many times in the past. She's like, feels like the female equivalent to Shaun White to me, if that's helpful with anyone. And she's real good. She has like 18 X Games medals. She's a ton of Olympics. Sure. But yeah, she's good. And she like joined.
Was Chloe Kim there?
Chloe Kim was there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She didn't do this particular event though, but like this event was so wild. It was just like snowboarding, and they just launched themselves down the hill. Like one guy did a somersault before he like did it. They were just like doing all this weird stuff. One guy was wearing a backpack for some reason. It was just like a fun little.
It's like something you'd see when you like go to the park.
Yeah,
the hill,
just
the
like
mountain. And then everybody's just like, sick, cool.
That is basically the amount of times in this.
Watch this.
The amount of times in the X Games overall the whole weekend that they were like watching, they would like zoom in on people talking and then had to cut away really quick because one of them said "fuck." It's so funny to me that they had to do that so fast. But yeah, like that was the vibe of the entire X Games though. And like the announcers are just like in jeans and flannels. They like all wear the improv outfit.
Yep.
Of jeans and flannels.
And they have these gorgeous Canadian accents.
Yeah. Chloe Kim was in it, as you said. And remember, I was telling you this, she was on the super pipe, which is like the big half pipe that they did. She fell on her first round.
Right.
And
then
then
did say that.
Yeah. So then she like randomly in her Instagram stories before she went down again was like, yeah, I just like popped some ribs out of place. No big deal. And then like went and like just did this out insane, like without having them fixed. Like when her next run was instantly in first place by like a mile. And then
oh my God.
the second one just as good. And then like the immunity to pain that snowboarders and skiers seem to have, like
it's crazy.
The way that they are able to bounce back from what seems like their limbs should be getting ripped off.
I have to say though, watching them, I can't, because it makes me so anxious because I'm just thinking about the worst case scenario the whole time.
Which
I can't help but picture shit going wrong.
Yeah.
Which I can picture easily because I saw it a lot watching the X Games. But yeah, so there was on slope style, which is where they go down and there's like there's like ramps and like rails and stuff. It was specifically the well, maybe it was skiing. It could have been skiing. I
thought she was a skier.
She was a skier. I don't remember her name, and I did not look it up before this. Somebody went down. She went on a rail, and I even watched it in like 25% speed. I cannot tell. It must have been when she hit the ground, because that is like, I feel like hitting cement when it's so frozen. They did have to postpone a lot of stuff. Was just she fell and she landed and she didn't move. She wasn't moving. The announcers were just like so casual chatting, and then they cut to commercial. And then they came back and they were still just chatting. No one's saying what happened to this woman. They're just like, we never saw her move. I was like, she's dead. I was texting you guys an update. I was like, this lady's dead. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
And then they cut back to her really quick, and it's her just on a stretcher again, still not moving, and they're carting her away. And then they cut away from that really quick and don't ever bring it up again for the rest of the tournament. So for days I was like, that lady's dead. I know it. Like they never
they're covering it up.
They never spoke about it until she I like kept checking her Instagram to like try and be like, are you alive? Like blink twice if you're alive. And she did. She's like, oh, I just have a concussion. I'm fine. But like,
I just have a concussion.
She was for sure unconscious at some point. I know, like she wasn't moving. But yeah, she was okay.
I hate it.
It was fun to watch though, I swear.
No, for sure.
And that was on basic TV channels as well. It might have been on ESPN. So look out for those winter sports if you're into it. It's very fun to watch. It'll blow your mind. Someday,
I can't
extreme
get
pogoing
the
will
picture
get
out
to
of my
their
head.
level.
I'm sorry, I just have to share it.
I can just see Julia spiraling. She's just like,
I'm thinking about trampolines,
Julia,
how they
she's
train on
okay.
trampolines, and just like the injuries that happen on trampolines. It's like
I was listening to it must have been the Just Women Sports podcast with Chloe Kim, where Kelly O'Hara was asking like how they like ramp up to getting to do some of these like launch yourself up 20 feet and do a trick and then try to land sideways on what essentially feels like cement. And she's like, yeah, you just do it. Hope for the best. Or like if you go off a ramp, like you just try it and hopefully you land it.
Well, a lot of these athletes started when they were like just slip sliding out the womb there.
Right.
So like they're used to it.
Yeah,
like,
but still it hurts.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I don't know.
I'm nervous for them to be so casual about like popping ribs out of place and then like another day or two later, like being like, I got my ribs put back. I assume it was
back in.
It was like I assume it was like floating ribs on the bottom. I think those can get messed up pretty easily, but she had them popped out and then was able to do like all these flips and stuff and like land. And that has to hurt. And like you just
Oh yeah. I'm sure it does.
do it. It's
crazy.
Wild. It's wild. Anyway.
Stay safe, everybody. Stay healthy. Don't go break your
Stay
bones.
safe.
If you are gonna like go outside and sled or something,
yeah,
wear a really puffy snowsuit.
Okay, bye. Yeah,
Please edit it there. Edit it there.
You should. You totally should.
Okay. Yeah, that will be it. And if for any reason I didn't, okay, bye.
I guess.
We're done
whatever.
with you.
Haters, get out of here.
She's good.
This has been a production of Planet Amp Podcast, powered by Pinecast.